HUKPORTI, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for being in studio with us today. I know you are here today to talk about the Day of the African Child. So you are representing all Togolese children today.
Not only Togolese children, but
yes,
also all the African children.
Because we are going to talk on their behalf.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what we are going to talk about is accelerating protection, empowerment, and equal opportunities for children in Africa by 2030. That's the theme chosen for this year's celebration. But before that, let's have a brief summary of activities undertaken by key personalities of Togo. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated held its General Assembly at its headquarters in Lomé this week. That was yesterday. Outside this meeting, the president of the group, Mr. Emmanuel Ikazobo, called on the head of state for a Sozimna Nyasimbe. Let's listen to him.
Well, we have come to congratulate Mr. President for his appointment as the chairman or president of ECOWAS. And you know, ETI, EcoBank, is a baby of ECOWAS. And therefore, we've come to say congratulations to the leader of ECOWAS, who are those, who started our bank and to become a Pan-African bank today.
EcoBank Transnational Incorporated has its 29th General Assembly in Lomé. Representatives and shareholders of these international financial institutions were present at this evaluation reunion. I now bring to you the report.
2016 had been a year of difficult undertakings for EcoBank Transnational Incorporated and its shareholders. Emmanuel Ikazobo, president of the EcoBank Group, focused his speeches on the causes of the loss or the low returns from the bank's financial activities, which were due to low cost of primary products, depreciation of local currencies, inflation, and so on.
We want to utilize technology as a means of delivering our services, and we believe that will reduce the cost of serving, and therefore ultimately we will get to a point where we are very profitable in those countries. Having said that, we've set a target for ourselves that over the next 2 years we want to manage these countries for performance, and we want to make sure that our return on equity is greater than the cost of equity within that period. So over the next 2 years, we'll be making on a quarterly basis, we're making full disclosure to the market to see how we're progressing with the task we set for ourselves.
Despite the difficulties, the net bankable product of EcoBank was evaluated at more than 2 billion CFA francs. The result before this provision was made was $738 million. Benefits and dividends faced with this saw a reasonable drop in the interest rate. Shareholders had the insurance that the situation would be reversed. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated is a public liability company. It was established as a bank holding company in 1985 under a private sector initiative spearheaded by the West African Chambers of Commerce and Industry with the support of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS.
A meeting was held this week with the Millennium Account Challenge Incorporation at the Prime Ministry. The meeting was to examine the two sectors in which Togo has difficulties. These two sectors were those of information technology, can we have the images, and agriculture. According to the representative of the Millennium Challenge, Togo will have in the sector of IT $2 million. So these are the images of the meeting that was held at the Prime Ministry. And the land ownership by the government for agricultural purposes, $8 million. And within this meeting, the Togolese Prime Minister Kwame Selon Klasu declared their vision is to create all conditions necessary for a better Togo. He ended by saying that Togo had achieved success in the Compact program this year. This year, I mean year 2017. Yak Damhan, Minister of Civil Protection and Security, was before the House to answer questions thrown to him by members of the Parliament. It was this week. Summoned, the minister rendered homage to his colleague killed on the 28th of February this year during a nationwide peaceful protest organized to say no to the rise in price of fuel in Togo that turned negative. He further explained to the House that his department works in 3 categories, and that during a riot whereby the first 2 categories of forces are stressed up, the 3rd category, which is the armed forces, come in to support. He explained the situation that led to the death of a civilian and an anti-riot police. The Speaker of National Assembly, Daman Dramani, urged the minister to make sure the armed forces give proof of professionalism in their work. The issue of sustainable development goes beyond the boundaries of our countries, the boundaries of science and business development, and try to include human development values and differences in culture. Our cities have become the focal points of these components, as major projects must be focused on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own. A workshop was held in Lome on sustainable urbanization. Kosigli was there, and let's have his report.
The new agenda imposes action in favor of housing and urbanization that state and country have as duty to provide essential services in the sectors for their improvement. They henceforth has to promote measures for sustainable cities, clean and well planned. The United Nations has decided to make more dynamic action and projects in the domain of eco-infrastructures. According to researchers, the rate of 50% recorded for urban residents will increase to 58% by year 2050 in communal area of Lome. The government and authorities must find new means of facing these challenges.
A capacity building workshop was held in Lome this week, organized by the African Media Leaders Forum. It focused on how to bring journalists understand the concept of sustainable urbanization. Serge Tastom was there and he recorded the interview of one of the organizers. Let's listen to him.
The World Bank Group and the Africa Media Initiative joined hands to organize this workshop on urbanization because we think urbanization is a forgotten issue in Africa. Yet Africa's cities are growing at a very high rate and the challenges of urbanization are so many. So we worked with AMI to see how we can bring this issue to the forefront. And we've been very impressed that we brought the journalists to attend an urbanization conference first, then we brought them for a training. What's urbanization about? It's not about buildings only. It's about sustainable development of our cities. It's about jobs. It's about sanitization. It's about health. It's about environment. It's about all these things. So we think that if we build the capacity of African journalists, they can become serious partners in demanding accountability to all our leaders to make sure that we get the cities that we deserve, to get the urban centers and the towns that we deserve, that are built and developed in a proper way. Some projects in transport, and obviously the one in Tanzania, the bus rapid transit system in Tanzania is one of our flagship projects in transportation in Africa. But we also have this in a few other countries. Some are at different stages of development. And I think that what's important is the African cities are all congested. It's even the ones where there are lower populations are still congested, and the amount of money that is lost in GDP per year because of traffic jams and because of people cannot get where they want to get to quickly, it has become a major problem. So we financed the bus rapid transit in Tanzania. I know that in East Africa we have also a few countries are testing it out, and certainly we have a few countries in West Africa where that is being done.
Well, as I've already told you, I'm in studio with WASSI.
Yes,
WASSI, Dennis, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Today
thank
we
you,
are going
sir.
to talk about African children. We know that the day for the African child was celebrated, was launched officially yesterday.
Yeah.
And during that day, can you please explain to us what that day means and how it originated?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alex HUKPORTI. Especially the Day of African Child, is celebrated yesterday, 16th of June 2017, as we are here. But I can say that this celebration has its source from somewhere, especially the South Africa, the city in the Kuwait. And for that, for example, we can see that something happens that time. the way that we are seeing some students doing some uprising, doing some tricks. So that time it was, the thing that has happened. And also the year was 1976, when the students, rise up and want to claim their rights, want to claim for a good quality of their education.
Yeah, you just talked about students. Do you mean university students, or what is the range, the age range of these students?
Yeah, the students is not it's not the students of university,
yeah,
or college, as people
say,
but students of primary school and high school.
Yeah, so
under 18 years old, something.
Yeah,
like
so
this.
they were students from South African Soweto high schools and primary schools.
Yeah.
And so why are they looking for a quality education? What is their curriculum made of? And they are looking for a quality education.
Yeah, I could say that, at that time, especially in South Africa, in Soweto, the education is not, it's not good. It was not good as we can say. For example, if we see now the African countries nowadays, Togo, Ghana, and today South Africa is not like that. The South Africa was in the older days, especially in the year 1976. So that time the lecturer, focus also only on the music and also the English language teaching. So for that, we can say that the education was a bit poor at that time.
Yeah. So education for South Africans.
Yeah, no, South African.
Yeah, African South Africans.
Yeah, sure.
Were a bit poor. Well, you just talk about the poorness of the education at that time.
Yeah.
So today, you also talk about 1976.
Sure.
1976, many years ago.
Yeah.
Now today, why are we still celebrating this day? Does it mean that these things that the students, the kids, the pupils were asking for were not met, or what?
Yeah, we cannot see that it's not. Actually, we can notice that the step, the education in South Africa, grows up.
Yeah.
So we can see that, because we have some organizations such as UNICEF, such as Plan International, and also the African Community Experts for the rights and welfare of children. All those organizations are working hard in order to improve the education, because if the African children education, is a bit good, does not mean that it's perfect. So they have to strive and also to work in order to preserve and also to protect the rights, of education to children.
Does it mean that countries are not taking measures in order to come to the security or the safety of children in their cities?
We can talk of measures or means.
What are some of the measures that countries are taking today?
Yeah,
they've taken.
Okay, let me be clear with you, especially as we in Togo here, as we Togolese. Let me tell you, especially from the time the Ministry of Social Affairs, launched the program, and it's not a program, but it was a network that we call Green Line, when you can take your phone, and that if you see some mistreatment happen on students, you can call 111, and directly the police will intervene and will try to
I can just remember that Green Line.
Yeah, Green Line.
Allo,
something like this.
So those are some of the measures. So Togolese government have taken that measure, knowing very well that children in the cities, Togolese children, are still undergoing atrocities. They are undergoing some things. So what are some of the things they undergo? These children.
Yeah, these days children are facing a lot of problems, especially the corporal punishments, even in some schools, or quite not in some houses, the corporal punishments. So these things, we have, or the authorities, the African leaders, have to fight against those kind of violences. Something like this.
Yeah. So now we were talking about the day we are talking about the theme. What is the theme chosen for this year's celebration, and how? What are your understanding of this theme?
Yeah, as I already cite some organizations who are working in order to improve or to protect the rights of children in Africa, such as UNICEF, Plan International Togo, and also the African community experts on the rights and welfare of children that are called ACE or WC. And especially ACE or WC, especially this year, is aiming at accelerating protection, empowerment, and equal opportunities for children in Africa. In Africa by the year 2030.
So acceleration, protection, empowerment, and equal opportunities for children in Africa by 2030. Why equal opportunities? Why protection? Are they not protected already, or they are not fully protected?
No. They are not. African children are not, fully protected. They need,
Why do you say that they are not fully protected?
Yeah, you can see, this day things are happening. If you can mention, why not our Togo? You can remember some years ago when you remember a bit, the pound, something happened there. The death of small students, right? Small students.
Even if you talk about protection, even at home.
Yeah, at
there
home.
Are parents who harass their kids.
Yeah, for sure.
There are a lot of things that happens today. If not only in Africa, but the world over, we know that children are always they are not well protected. When you go to India. When you even in France, even in the United States, we say there are rights, there are everything there, but children are still the weaker ones. So what can you tell us about the weakness of children in order to face some of the challenges? You realize that some of them do hard works.
Yeah,
you see them in the markets. What can you say about that?
Yeah, it's a matter of education.
Yeah,
it's a matter of education. If you see a child, working in markets in order to sell something and to get some money to survive, that means something is wrong, and we have to correct those things which are wrong. You can see the images, the way that children sometimes they are passing by every time. If you can see them in the market and every time, so you see, so that means they need support, they need education, because most of them also are orphans. Most of those students are orphans. So I think so much those organizations and those volunteers who are supporting the children of Africa in order to have a good future.
Yeah, so before we continue our discussion on panel, let's listen to an interview recorded by Songoy Derman, an interview of Mr. Jangbejo Nayon. He's an education advisor in the city of Anie. He talks to us about nonviolent education, how to synthesize teachers. Let's listen to him.
Education in the Anie area has a lot of problems, as Anie itself is a new prefecture. That means there are many things that should be done. And in terms of education, Anie inspection is one of the youngest institutions that need means. And when I came here, I saw that there are many problems, especially as far as the education of girls is concerned. There are few girls in schools, in secondary schools. And when we want to know the reasons, we come to know that there are early marriages, there are also violences in schools. In a business center like Anie, many people are using drugs. And here, even though we've not yet noticed the use of drugs in schools, we know that may be another cause why girls are not numerous in schools. Then, concerning the project based on
gender,
the violences in schools. We think that the project can help us solve many problems, because by giving a lot of sensitizations to teachers, to inspectors, and to even the APE, the social organizations that are helping schools, I think that can have a lot of benefits. When parents are conscious of the facts, they can help a lot. When teachers are conscious of the facts, when they are conscious that there are many violences, maybe they don't know, when they come to know that.
Well, thank you very much. We just listened to the interview of Mr. Jangbejo Nayon. Mr. Jangbejo Nayon. We were talking about the African children, but here he has divided the group into two. He's talking about girls and boys. Girls and boys. And talking most of the time about girls' education, the girl child education. So girl child education comes in here, Dennis?
Yeah, we can say that, girls also are our concerns in this matter, because these days, or if I can say today, many people now are promoting the emancipation of the female sex. We know that in the olden days there was discrimination. The female sex was not considered. So these days especially, many people are fighting to promote the female sex emancipation, girls' emancipation. So as we know, girls are our mother. Even if the lady, has 20 or 10 years old, we can see that one day she will become a mother.
So do we need a special educational curriculum for girls?
Yeah, we really need it. Those, especially the women know more than we, men, because they know that there are some situations in which ladies, come through, but we men, we cannot understand. Why, for example, if you take a family, for example, you can see that most of the time the girls are supported, or the girl are more friends with the mother, but not the father.
Yeah,
that means
by the contrary, we always say that girls are friends to their fathers.
Yeah, but in the matter of education,
yes,
in the matter of education, because the man has no time to be in the house in order to educate the girl.
Yeah.
So all the words come, to the woman to take care of the girls. So girls, their emancipation is very important. Women, we are fighting for their emancipation, but they have to know that they have to raise their heads, to raise their hand to say that, okay, now it's okay, we want an equality between the two sexes.
Yeah, so equality between the two sexes, equality between girls and boys. That has been done already. In Togo, I'm sure basic education is...
it's free. It's free for boys.
Just to allow...
That's what, the
two sexes to...
and also a fluent education.
Yeah.
Not to work for the family, for the father or the mother to do. The school is free, at the primary school in Togo especially. Well,
Dennis, we are getting to the end of our question and answers of our discussion on the Day for the African Child. Which your words for leaders?
My word,
especially the lawmakers.
Yeah, the lawmakers, and I really like those organizations, who struggle for a better world for children. So once again, I want to thank them for everything they're doing for the children all over the world, and I'm encouraging them, and also to put many means, in the associations who are working for the rights and the welfare of children. That's
thank you very much. We are talking about the right and the welfare of children.
Yeah, sure.
We also, within that, we have education. Education, parents must invest into their education today, since education is a right and not a privilege to a child. Well, viewers, we come to the end of today's program. I hope to be with you again next week at the same time. Have a nice weekend.